Hey guys, what's going on today? I wanted to talk about the Eagles draft and give a grade for each player that was picked. I made a video covering day 1 and day 2 of the draft, but I decided not to make one on day 3 because I wanted to just grade the draft overall. I decided to wait a little bit because I didn't want the hype of the draft to affect my opinion, so I waited and I let the hype die down, and now I think I'm in a position where I can comment on each player and how they fit with the Eagles. So, getting into the first round pick, the Eagles' first round selection was Derek Barnett. Overall, I'd give this a B+ grade because while this pick does not fill an immediate need, it is a good pick for the future. The only surefire starter on that defensive end position is Brandon Graham. The other side, however, is a very open competition between Vinny Curry, Chris Long, Marcus Smith, and now Derek Barnett. While Barnett may not get listed as a starter, he will definitely get several reps due to Jim Schwartz's scheme. He constantly likes to rotate guys, so Barnett will have plenty of chances to shine and get meaningful experience that will help him develop. So like I said, while this may not be an immediate impact, I think overall it's a good move for the Eagles. Then in the second round, the Eagles made another selection planning for the future in Sidney Jones. The Eagles could have gotten an immediate impact player like Joe Mixon, but instead they decided to take a risk on arguably the best cornerback in the draft, and I give this grade a B, with the potential to go either up or down depending on how he plays. If Sidney Jones can fully recover from his injury, then he'll be an amazing pickup. First round talent with a second round pick. Easily an A grade. However, if he never fully recovers, or he doesn't translate to the NFL level, it would be an F. It would be an absolute terrible pick. So this pick definitely has a lot of risk to it, but with all the news coming out, it looks like he's on track to make a full recovery. So for right now, I'm going to say this is a good pick. However, there is some risk involved, and all we can do as fans is hope that he gets better. Then in the third round, the Eagles got a guy that actually can make an immediate impact in Rasul Douglas. I would give this a B. It's a great pick, but when you consider the competition that Douglas will have to go up against, it's sort of unfortunate for him. It's kind of a bad matchup. Douglas is a great player, don't get me wrong, but he has to go up against guys like Odell Beckham Jr., Dez Bryant, Brandon Marshall, Terrell Pryor, and he's very solid. He's definitely a guy that I think can stay on the Eagles roster for years to come, but I don't know if he necessarily has the capability to cover guys like that. Overall, very solid cornerback, a guy that I'm happy to see on our roster, and a very good pick. I just hope he can maintain at least until Sidney Jones is fully able to play and compete again, because I don't know if he can really compete against that level of talent that we have in the NFC East. Then we look at the Eagles' first fourth-round pick in Mack Hollins. This one's another risky pick. He broke his collarbone, which made him miss his last season in college, but that's not really why he's a risk. After watching film on this guy, I don't really think he can translate that well into the NFL. He's big, he's fast, he's got good hands, but I think NFL level corners will be able to shut him down pretty easily. I think he's really a developmental pick, and I think he can actually be a replacement for Torrey Smith if he doesn't work out. But overall, I kind of feel like the Eagles got an average receiver, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because the Eagles do have the worst receiving core in the NFL, so depth is always necessary, and I could end up being entirely wrong about him. He could be a star. I don't really know. However, right now, I'm going to give the Eagles a C for this pick. With the second fourth-round pick, the Eagles took Donell Pumphrey. Now, this is a weird pick for me because the production is there. You look at this guy's numbers, it is phenomenal. But his size is a huge factor and a big concern. He's about 2 inches taller than Darren Sproles, who he's getting compared to a lot. However, Darren Sproles is almost 20 pounds heavier than this guy. And I think the Eagles took Pumphrey with the idea that they're going to use him to replace Sproles once he retires next year. And obviously, Sproles is going to be leaving big shoes to fill, but I'm not really confident Pumphrey will be able to replace Sproles. They actually have pretty different running styles if you look at them. I'm hoping Pumphrey can develop, and I'm hoping I'm wrong about this pick, but I'm going to give it a C. It's just one of those kind of meh picks to me. I think the Eagles were targeting Samaje Perine, and Washington took him first, so we'll just have to wait and see. I just really hope Pumphrey can actually develop to that NFL level. With the 5th round pick, the Eagles took Sheldon Gibson. Now this one is a very interesting pick for me because I think this guy is a gem in the draft. He is a deep threat through and through. His combine looks absolutely horrible, running a 4.5 40, but on his pro day he ran a 4.39, so no doubt this guy is fast. I don't know if he'll be an immediate starter. Obviously he has to compete with Torrey Smith, but I wouldn't be surprised if this guy ends up being a starter at some point next season. Overall, I'm going to give this a B, maybe a B+, regardless of if he starts or not. He's a vertical threat that we can use eventually if Torrey Smith doesn't work out, or, we can pair him up and use him as dual vertical threats. Who knows? We'll see. But overall, I really like the pickup of Sheldon Gibson. Then with the Eagles' 2nd, 5th round pick, they took Nate Gerry. This is a weird one to me because he's listed as a safety, but I believe the Eagles intend to use him as a linebacker. Geary did play some linebacker in college, so I'm not too concerned about the position change. His ball skills are really insane. That's what really jumps out to me when I watch this guy. He's an absolute beast in coverage, and I think he could be a starter day one, replacing Mychael Kendricks. Obviously, there's a chance he could be a complete bust. You see that a lot from gadget players who can play multiple positions. But from what I'm seeing right now, I'm going to give this an A- because he does bring tremendous value to the team, and I think it's decent for what you get out of the 5th round. I think this is actually a really smart pickup for the Eagles. Then with the Eagles' final pick, they decided to get Elijah Qualls. I'll be honest, I don't really know a whole lot about this guy. He's just, I don't know. I just watched a couple videos on him. I know he's pretty good against the run, and he's fucking massive. I think this pick actually does have some value to it, though, because I wanted a D-tackle because Bo Allen is injured. I believe he tore his pec, and he's going to be out for up to 6 months. And Qualls adds some much-needed depth and talent at that D-tackle position. I would give this pick a B just because of what this guy is capable of and the desperate need we have at that D-tackle depth position. Overall, this is a great draft for the Eagles. I don't expect them to be fully competitive this year, but rather I think they're looking to be competitive in the long run, and I'm very happy to see that from the Eagles. But what do you think about the Eagles draft? Do you love or hate what they're doing? Let me know in the comments below, and if you guys enjoyed this video, leave it a like and subscribe to the channel. I am Motionless Gaming, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.